organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, 10 days till Dance Marathon, see why the event's keeping people coming back for more.
And is staying fit your New Year's resolution? Find out what new classes are keeping the gym packed.
And in sports, we've got the highlights from women's hoops overtime comeback win over the Cornhuskers last night.
All this and more next.
This is Daily Iowan TV. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hannah Thompson.
And I'm Blake Jorgensen.
Iowa's governor will soon be back on his feet. This morning, a Des Moines hospital released Governor Branstad after being admitted to the hospital on Monday for what doctors believe to be a viral illness and dehydration. The governor fell ill while speaking at Pioneer in the Johnston suburb yesterday. A spokesman for Branstad says he's resting comfortably at his residence in Des Moines.
Concerns about a funding model have Iowa lawmakers worried. The Board of Regents proposed a performance-based funding model for the state's 3 public universities. The model bases 60% of the funding distribution for universities on the enrollment of in-state students. Board of Regents President Bruce Rassiter said the model will help balance funding sharing between the 3 Regent universities, but lawmakers question the model's impact on private and community colleges competing for in-state students.
Daily Iowan TV met with the University of Iowa President Sally Mason yesterday in a Q&A session after she announced plans for the university to partner with AIB College in Des Moines. Editor-in-Chief Jordan Ryland standing by to fill us in on her sit-down with the president. Jordan?
I met with President Sally Mason yesterday for the Daily Iowan monthly Q&A, where she talked about the Advisory Committee on Sexual Assault. This committee was created roughly a year ago in hopes of having an open communication about sexual assault on the University of Iowa campus and doing a lot of projects, including campus safety walks to make sure that there's proper lighting, as well as monthly meetings with University of Iowa groups to discuss ways that students can learn about preventing sexual assault. President Mason also talked about her improved relationship with the Board of Regents, that including President Bruce Rastetter and Katie Mulholland, and they were able to discuss and have monthly meetings, and the communication has improved. That's all I have for you guys. Back to you guys at the desk.
All it takes is 3 letters to bring a group of alumni back to campus each year, FTK. Sarah Hadley tells us how a few Dance Marathon alums are continuing the cause beyond graduation.
Katie Malooly has many fond memories from her time as a UI student, most of them from her time raising money for kids with cancer.
So I signed up with some friends, and after the first one, I was hooked and wanted to get more involved. It's definitely, it's different once you graduate, especially still living in Iowa City. It's kind of an adjustment at first. That becomes your family. Like, you're with these people all the time. And I mean, most of my best friends from Iowa came out of Dance Marathon.
And Malooly is not alone. Dance Marathon's alumni network is both abundant and vast, made up of more than 13,000 students residing in all 50 states, even reaching as far as Spain.
Somehow, I guess, alumni flock together during this weekend and they find each other.
No matter where we all went after we graduated, it's like the one really great excuse to come back here and not only just see each other and hang out, but come back and support Dance Marathon and the families.
But with Dance Marathon 2015 just weeks away, getting together with old friends proves to be a lot more important than it may sound.
The monetary support as well as the emotional support that they give to us is amazing.
You come back and you see how much they've improved and just the progress that's being made and just all of that money being raised every year. Like, it's not something that ever gets old.
Sarah Hadley, Daily Iowan TV.
There are now 10 days until the big Dance Marathon event.
And still to come, find out how business growth is changing the way you see downtown Iowa City.
And in sports, an Iowa Hawkeye is the Big Ten Wrestler of the Week after his performance on Friday. Find out who coming up.
The snowpocalypse on the East Coast continues. Major cities like New York and Boston were shut down by the blizzard. Travel restrictions were put into place and many in Massachusetts were left without power. Today, travel restrictions were lifted and residents are dealing with flooding from the inches of melting snow.
We had our own little snowpocalypse a few days ago. It snowed a lot, but...
I know, nothing quite like what they had on the East Coast, though.
Yeah, that's rough. It's been warm. It's been good. I've liked it. So let's toss things over to Tanner Sigworth, who is not in the weather studio today. Tanner?
Guys, the warmer weather and inconsistent temps we've had this month has had an impact on recreational activities here in Iowa City. I'm out at City Park Pond, where ice skating's been shut down because the warmer weather is making the ice too thin. Now, this warmer weather, we can expect more of it tomorrow. Morning's going to start out at 27 degrees, partly cloudy skies, but that temp's going to jump back up to 38 degrees by the noon hour. It'll be 45 degrees before the day's said and done. Drop back down to 40 degrees for your nighttime, a very comfortable Wednesday night ahead of us. Temp's going to remain in the upper 30s for the rest of the week, but then on Saturday and Sunday, we are expecting really good chances of snow. Saturday, a 60% chance, followed by a 70% chance on Sunday. The temps are going to keep increasing and then decreasing, so there's going to be a lot of ice, so be careful out there. Back to you guys in the studio.
Tonight, we're learning of an American who died in Libya after a terrorist attack in a Libyan hotel. At least 2 others died and 6 people were injured. It happened outside the Corinthia Hotel in Tripoli after a car bomb went off and a gun attack followed.
It's that time of year again where the gym is on many people's places to go for their New Year's resolution. Daily Iowan TV's Katie Sextro shows us what new classes are becoming popular at the campus rec center.
After the new year, the rec center in Iowa City begins to see an increase in members and interest in group exercise programs. Pat Kutcher, the Associate Director of Fitness and Wellness, says that at this time of the year, they even have to turn people down because of such a huge interest in group programs. She says this is a good sign and hopefully it will allow them to extend the program and offer more classes. With over 80 group exercise programs available, there's something for everyone. Renee Will, a fitness instructor for the rec center, teaches one of the lower intensity group exercises and encourages everyone to try a group workout program.
There's all different kinds of classes, and it's not only group fitness. If you want to pay a little bit more, there's TRX, there's boot camps in the MAC gym, there's kettlebell. There's something for everybody. If one class doesn't do it for you, try another one.
With New Year's resolutions in mind and spring break getting closer, more students have been active in group exercises at the rec center.
I think it's a really good program and it's telling you what to do. It's a good exercise. Instead, if someone's pushing you, then it's kind of easier to get a workout in.
Group exercise classes are free to UI students and members of the rec center. For more information about classes and schedules, go to recserv.uiowa.edu. Here you can find classes divided into different difficulty levels, descriptions, and times. As you can see, this was one of the lower intensity exercise programs offered here at the rec center. High intensity programs are also available. And with spring break coming up, I might just join. Reporting from the rec center, Katie Sextro, Daily Iowan TV.
If you've been in downtown Iowa City lately, you've probably seen some big changes in the businesses there. Daily Iowan TV's Siwen Wong has the story.
The past several months have been with big changes with Iowa City pedestrian mall. Let's look into them and explore the growth of Iowa City downtown business. Long-time downtown business such as soap opera, the Wedge Coffee Shop have announced their closings, while new business ranging from clothes shop to pizza joints have opened up on the pedestrian mall.
What has filled the space at Buzz Salon is a new boutique called Sicily. And we had a new Forbidden Planet has opened up, a new restaurant with some gaming elements to it that has replaced the Tobacco Bowl. We have a French Connection women's store. We have some new restaurants that have come online as well. So we've got the Pullman that's opened up. We've got the Chop House that just opened up. We've got Food Republic in Osaka.
According to Iowa City Downtown District 2013-14 Mission Report, Iowa City downtown business members consist of 32% restaurants and 20% retails.
We have a certain percentage mix that we're going to try to achieve. We are going to try and reduce the number of food and beverage businesses, but we're not trying to. We always want to hear from businesses who want to think about food and beverage downtown, because we do want to increase the quality of the businesses that we have here. So that's the important part to remember.
Siwen Wang, Daily Iowan TV.
And last night was a nail-biter in Carver Hawkeye Arena, Blake, where the Iowa women's basketball team needed extra minutes to beat Nebraska.
Yeah, it was a great victory. I wish I could have made it. I was in class, but Taylor Bartz and Aaron Gallagher are standing by in the sports studio with full coverage from last night.
Thanks, Blake, and what an exciting game indeed as the 20th ranked Iowa women's hoops were able to rally and come up on top against the 15th ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers.
And if beating a higher ranked team wasn't enough, Taylor, this was the first time the Hawkeyes have beaten Nebraska in the last 9 meetings.
Zach Mackey and Taylor Mathis were courtside for this matchup and have the extended coverage.
Let's toss it over to Zach first, who has the highlights.
The number 15th ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers traveled to town to take on the 20th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. It was the Hawkeyes that struggled early, only shooting 25% from the field, but they heated up in the second half, shooting just under 59%, but it took more than 40 minutes to crown a champion in this one. 4,500 people flocked to Carver Hawkeye Arena for women's basketball on a Monday night. And shots would not fall for the Hawks. Everything was going Nebraska's way, and they jumped on an early 8-0 run. The first points of the ball game came from the freshman, Whitney Jennings, from the free throw line. She hit one of her free throws. Down by 7 going into half, and it looked like it was going to be an uphill battle for the Hawkeyes against a Nebraska team they had never beaten. We jumped down to the end of the second half where Allie Disterhoff right there able to put up a layup and give the Hawks the lead. 60-59, and now Nebraska trying to answer back. They give it into the hands of Rachel Therrott. And Therrott is able to hit the jumper. Then Coach Bluter calls timeout with 4.5 seconds on the clock. Draws up a fantastic play into the hands of Whitney Jennings, going to the hoop, and she's fouled. Going to the free throw line. First free throw wouldn't go. Second one goes, and it ties things up at 61. On to overtime, and it was all Hawkeyes in overtime. They shot better than 58%, and they rolled to a victory. 78-72 Hawks over the Cornhuskers. For Daily Iowan TV Sports, I'm Zach Mackey.
Helping the Hawkeyes get their comeback win was sophomore Allie Disterhoff. For someone who was fairly quiet in the beginning, came back to score 20 points and 10 rebounds in the second half and overtime.
But Disterhoff wasn't the only one who led the Hawkeyes to overcome a 10-point deficit, as Samantha Logic shot 16 points with 7 assists in the second half and OT as well.
Taylor Mathis has more on the seniors' performance.
Tonight, senior Samantha Logic played a game to remember. Her game-high 22 points helped assist the Hawkeyes in their 78-72 OT victory. And if you were lucky enough to be one of the first 1,000 fans entering Carver Hawkeye Arena, you got your very own special Logic bobblehead. Although Logic's head was bobbing in the stands, her mind was in the game. As the Hawkeyes had a slow start to the first half, only shooting 25%, Logic seemed to be the only one finding the net as she scored 9 of their 28 points. Head coach Lisa Bluter knew what they needed to do to stay in reach during the second half.
Got to really focus on defense, and we tied them on the boards. For us, that's a win. But I mean, really, we was just really focusing on the defense because we couldn't let them score if we weren't scoring, obviously.
Going into the second, down by 7, Logic motivated her team to keep pushing. Only sitting for 4 of the 45-minute contest, Logic had 22 points and 8 assists. And with the history of losing to Nebraska, this win held special significance to Logic.
You don't want to keep losing to a team, so for us seniors, it was pretty big and pretty special. And like Coach Bluter said, it was huge to have the crowd. Had a lot of energy. Even any little run that we had, they're behind us, so we appreciate that.
Logic and the rest of the Hawkeyes are now preparing for another big-time matchup this weekend against Northwestern. This is Taylor Mathis for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The Hawks now move to second place in the Big Ten behind Maryland and continue to be undefeated at home.
Some news on the mat as well, as Iowa's redshirt freshman Brandon Sorensen has been named the Big Ten Wrestler of the Week for the second time this season.
This award came after Sorensen's defeat over defending national champion Jason Sertzis of Northwestern. He beat Sertzis 3-2 in double overtime on Friday, handing him his first loss of the season and ending a 40-match win streak.
Sorensen now moved to the number 2 ranking in the 149-pound weight class, but he says all these awards and ranks don't matter until he's at the top.
Yeah, they mean something, but the thing that I'm after right now is the national title. That's really what I want.
Well, we are completely out of time here in the sports studio.
Until next time, Hannah and Blake, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, ladies. That's all we have tonight on Daily Iowan TV. Make sure to join us tomorrow at the same time.
And stay up to date with breaking news at dailyiowan.com. Thanks for joining us.
And have a great night.